Okay, so I think this will help you, and I think we can do this. We'll give it a try. Before you multiply things out, let's say you make it up and you have these factors, and I'm just making these up as I go. So anything, you need 5 of them to make it a degree 5 polynomial, and my guess is that, so you might be seeing something like this, which means you're seeing a bunch of lines. Okay, so I'm going to go off to the right-hand side, and I'll click on this right here, and I can tell that I can see the really 5 different places where it crosses, and it should have 5 different places, one for each of our set of parentheses. All right, but the y-axis, clearly I can't see like the maximums and the minimums. So we want to really expand that y-axis. So I don't know, we'll start with negative 200. Ah, yeah, well that's at least got part of it. We'll see in a second. And positive 200. And now I can see that the top of whatever this peak is not showing. So I'm going to make this more like 1,000 to see if I can, I still can't see it. It's not quite there yet. So we just sort of have to keep playing till we see more than just lines. Yeah, I still can't see the top of that. Let's go one more 1,000 and see what happens. Ah, okay. Now, it's a little bit hard to see what's underneath this. I'll turn it off there for a second. But, all right, so it looks like it's there. Now, there are little mins and maxes in here that's just very little slope. And of course, you're going to have to use, you're just going to have to click on them and sort of figure out what the top is. Like there's your maximum that's there and your minimum. And you can't see this. Let me move it's showing there when I click about where that minimum is. And of course, as far as inflection points and stuff, you're going to have to kind of guess. All right, so somewhere in there is probably an inflection point where it's changing from concave down to concave up and so forth. All right, now what you can do after the fact, make it up like this, and then you play around with your graph, and then multiply it out, and then come back to Desmos, put in your multiplied out polynomial, see if you get the same graph. If you don't get the same graph, then probably you've made an error in multiplying all of that stuff out. And that's easy to do when you've got something this big. So if you want to write down your work when you're multiplying it out, send that to me. If you don't get what you need to get, to make the two graphs kind of line up, then feel free to do so, and I can look at your work and see where you might be going wrong in your multiplication, because that's probably what's leading you to not having a graph that works out with some mins and maxes. But hopefully this will help.